Hello everyone, and welcome back to Jesse Hecht Creative. Today we're going over the enemies of Super Mario Bros. 3 with action figures by Jakks Pacific. Now let's get to it. The Paragoomba looks very similar to the Goomba. The front half is the same, the face, the eyebrows, the mouth. The bottom even is the same, at least, and has that same swivel as before. But when you come back around past this seam over here, you have a different half of the body that has wings on it. They look very nice. And they can swivel on the ball joint all the way around as well as move around. They're very versatile and look super cool on this figure. I love how cute it looks with the wings, and you can facilitate this by basically having the seam over here cut in half. The front half is the same, the back half has holes in it. It's pretty genius from an action figure standpoint. Paragoombas are a little tougher. They hop around and jump, and they're nice to have in a game when Goombas are pretty simple, but these guys are a little bit challenging. It's great. Here's Mario next to a Paragoomba, standing at about 1 3/4 inches taller, so. And ever the odd man out, here is the Spike, a very strange little dude who just shows up in the game and does a couple weird things and leaves. His big weird lips are this strange color of very bright pinkish purple. His eyes are green like his body kind of, and this blue tuft of hair is just weird. And he also has like this buzzy beetle shell on the back of him. I don't know, he's a very strange amalgamation of characters that just kind of doesn't fit anywhere, I don't think. He surprisingly does have a lot of articulation though. His arm can go up and down and all the way around, as well as up and down kind of over here and swivel over there with pads on his feet. He's really detailed for a sort of nobody. And they actually put the code on the bottom of his foot. Well done, Jakks. Finally. That's just awesome. Weird figure, but very nicely done, honestly. It's very strange. Here's Mario standing next to Spike at about 1 3/4 to 2 inches tall or so. Another one of my favorite enemies, the Chain Chomp, is just awesome. I really love this figure. It's very cute and adorable. It is just a big ball with a bunch of big teeth and cute little eyes like a dog. He even barks in the game. It's very awesome. The chain on the back is quite long and actually can move around like a real chain. It's very neat. The only issue with this figure though, there isn't a flat surface for it to stand on. Would have been great right over here. This thing just kind of rolls how it pleases. I'd rather it be in this kind of position, you know, ready to strike in a way. What's really cool is you can kind of nail this down and then have the Chain Chomp just try to grab at something. It's wonderful. Here's the Chain Chomp standing next to Mario at about 1 3/4 to 2 inches tall or so. And the width from the chain to the chomp is about 4.5 to 4 3/4 inches long or so. And Bowser, of course, is the boss of all these enemies, actually the final boss of the game. I really love the red shock of hair, and the shell looks like it's floating off his body, kind of. This figure is just great. I mean, look at that shell. It's amazing with all those spikes. Even his tail has spikes, and those little bracelets he wears have spikes. It's awesome. I've really come around to loving this figure. It looks so nice and very on model with the character. And we're going to see more enemies in Bowser's army right after this. Hello everyone, and thank you so much for watching so far. Make sure to click like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, and hit the bell icon for more creativity. Now let's get back to it. Bring on the boos, and oh man, these guys are wonders in Mario. I love them. The expression on their face is alternately gleeful and morose with a little bit of sadness and some anger. It's hard to tell what this expression actually is in the face. It's very fascinating. It's one round ball, basically, with a little tail. It's very cute and a very noticeable seam line over here, and you can rotate the hand-arm things. It's really nice. I love the detail on the tongue. It looks so nice, as well as the teeth is really great, and even the inside of the mouth is a little bit red. It looks wonderful, and even this is on the bottom. It's basically a perfect Jakks figure. I love it. There's also a glow-in-the-dark variant of Boo that looks really nice from all angles. It glows blue and looks very cute. It's hard to capture in the darkness, but yeah, this is just great. And here's Mario next to the regular and glow-in-the-dark Boo variants. I like the regular variant a little bit more than the glow-in-the-dark one because this is just white like the Boos in the game. This one's a weird pearlescent color that, I don't know, doesn't look that great. And the Boo stands at about 1.5 to 1 3/4 inches taller, so. Next up is the Dry Bones, and oh boy, do I have a lot to say about this figure. It can barely stand, and by some miracle made to stand right now. That's pretty wild. By moving it in a certain fashion, you can get this to stand, but really it's only a matter of time before it falls. I do love the shell, and it looks really cool though. By twisting the leg that the peg is on, you can make it stand, but only for quite some time. It's really weird, but that shell is cool, and I like the mint color of the gloves and boots. The teeth are really cute on this guy as well. I like how they're kind of a part of his skull. It's so nicely done. And since this guy is stuck in one pose, articulation is really lacking. You can only really move the beak up and down and then swivel the head a little bit. The arms don't really move. This one moves a little bit, but the legs are just not at all. I also like the stripes on the shell. They're really cut in deep like ribs. It's a very interesting figure that has a lot of hallmarks of being a spooky undead figure, but also cute as well. I just wish he was way more posable like his 4-inch version. Thwomps don't really count as enemies that much, but I just love them, so yeah, I'm putting them in here. They're just great. Thwomps are more traps than enemies themselves. They just fall whenever you get near them. They're kind of scary too. This figure is mostly inert and was put in a playset, and yeah, I got the playset just for the Thwomp. It's that great. I like how the mold is doubled too. It's really nicely done. And I love the face as well on this. It just screams, "Arr!" And here's the Thwomp next to Mario, standing at about 3.5 inches taller, so. I've talked about Boom Boom so much that I'm getting tired of it. This is not my favorite Mario figure by a long shot. The articulation's just okay, and he's way too small. That's the biggest issue. I do like how shiny and striking the shell is, though. It's even segmented, which is pretty cool. If they buffed this guy up in his 4-inch and 2.5-inch incarnations, he'd be much better. I also kind of like the expression on the face. Even if it doesn't capture the wackiness of the character in a way, or dumbness, at least he's still good. And for what limited articulation Boom Boom has, he has a butterfly joint of all things he doesn't really need, as well as an all the way around at the arm, and an up and down flapping motion of the arm, and a knocking motion for the hand, but that's it. No swivel. It's kind of a bummer. And here's Mario standing next to Boom Boom at about 2 inches taller, so. Overall, the best game gets the worst figures. The Paragoomba is a great upgrade over the standard Goomba. The Spike has way too much articulation for such a nothing character. The Chain Chomp looks great overall, but lacks the standing capability to make it look threatening. The Boo has the best look, really nice articulation, and a glow-in-the-dark variant to boot. It's really cool. The Dry Bones is the worst of the bunch, being barely able to stand, and I love the character, but this figure is just awful. And the Thwomp is just part of a playset that doesn't really move all that much, and doesn't have that much articulation to begin with, but I love it, and it looks great, and the sculpting is awesome. And Boom Boom is just trash. With all the articulation, it's all needless and pointless, and they really need to make this figure bigger to make it more imposing than Mario. If you're a fan of Super Mario Bros. 3 and its enemies, then you'll like these figures a lot. They're pretty great. But I would highly recommend getting the Boo, the Thwomp, and the Paragoomba most likely. The rest are just okay. Even if I do love the Chain Chomp, it needs a rework. But make no mistake, SMB3 is the way to be. So which enemy here is your favorite from Super Mario Bros. 3? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching Jesse Hecht Creative. Make sure to click like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment. You can also visit us at jessehechtcreative.com for more reviews like this one. Thank you so much for watching, and keep being creative. Stay tuned.